You know how sometimes you're looking at stuff, maybe articles, notes, even really old texts,
Hmm.
and suddenly this pattern just clicks. It jumps out at you.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much what happened when we did this recent deep dive.
Yeah.
We looked at this fascinating stack of uh, biblical and Enochic verses.
Right, those texts that sometimes fill in the gaps or expand on the Bible. And today, well, our mission is to kind of unpack how this specific set of 12 verses, and they were selected in a procedurally random way, it wasn't cherry picking, how they surprisingly lay out this single, really coherent theological idea.
Framework, yeah.
Exactly. We're calling it the divine forensic process. Think
Yeah.
of it like God's cosmic legal system.
And this isn't about us forcing our own ideas onto these texts, right?
Not at all.
It's more like a journey to see how these verses, just on their own, when you put them together, reveal this quite sophisticated legal and theological story. We're going to trace it, from establishing divine law, the indictment bit, all the way through to how it actually resolves, which is, well, pretty unexpected. So, okay, let's dive in. This cosmic courtroom idea, imagine it. What do these verses tell us about God as the judge here?
Well, they're pretty clear. God is presented as the ultimate impartial judge. Deuteronomy puts it very simply. The judgment is God's. No favoritism allowed.
Okay, impartial.
But, and this is really interesting, he's not some, distant figure just watching. The texts show him actively involved. He's described as both the prosecutor, the one bringing the case, and the supreme judge. Isaiah says, Jehovah hath stood up to plead, and he is standing to judge the peoples.
Wow, okay. So pleading the case and judging it, that's quite involved.
An active participant.
So that covers humanity. But you mentioned Enochic texts, too. Does this court's reach, stuff with people?
No, that's one of the most striking things. Its jurisdiction goes way beyond us. It extends to celestial beings, angels.
Angels. Seriously.
Yeah, the Book of Enoch actually names angelic defendants, like Samjaza, who is a leader among the rebellious angels in that story. It points to this universal legal framework. It covers all created intelligences, not just humans.
Okay, so it's not just a divine court. It's like the ultimate cosmic Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Angels in the dock, that's something else.
It really expands the scope, doesn't it?
Definitely. So given this massive scope, how serious are the offenses in this system? What's actually at stake?
Oh, it's presented as incredibly serious. Transgression isn't just a mistake, it's framed as a capital crime. Proverbs talks about how certain sins, like adultery in that context, hunteth for the precious lives or the precious soul.
The soul itself. So
Yeah.
life and death stakes, spiritually speaking.
Exactly. And the situation for the accused sounds terrifying. Psalms uses this metaphor, right? About being surrounded by accusers.
Like a ravening and roaring lion. Yeah, I remember that one. Vivid.
Very vivid. And these aren't just abstract rulings. Jeremiah shows they have real-world weight, affecting entire empires, God taking vengeance on the king of Babylon. History feels these judgments.
Okay, so the charges are heavy. The consequences are real. The accusers are like lions. Is there any way out, any recourse for the accused in this cosmic courtroom?
Yes, absolutely. Even within this pretty daunting system, there's a way. The accused isn't just left helpless. There's a clear protocol, a way to appeal directly to the judge. It's called formal supplication, basically a respectful, earnest plea for help or review.
Like King Hezekiah. Remember that story in Isaiah?
Yeah.
He gets this threatening letter and literally goes and spreads it out before God in the temple.
Precisely. It's such a powerful image. A physical act of presenting the evidence, lodging his appeal.
It's like saying, look at this, hear my case. A request for a formal hearing.
Asking for the divine eyes and ears to be open, just like that prayer in 1 Kings asks. A direct petition.
Okay, so there's judgment, but also a path for appeal.
And that appeal path leads us to what is, I think, the most profound part of this whole process, and maybe the most unexpected. Because while the system definitely includes judgment, harsh judgment even, its ultimate aim, where it all culminates, is in this incredible act of divine grace.
Grace. Really? After all the talk of capital crimes and lions, that feels like a sharp turn.
Mm-hmm.
How do these texts make that leap?
It is a sharp turn, but it's essential. They introduce this principle of almost boundless forgiveness. Think about that teaching in Matthew.
Oh, the 70 times 7 idea.
Exactly. Forgiving not just 7 times, but, well, essentially limitlessly. It moves way beyond just strict eye for an eye accounting.
So how does that work theologically? What's the mechanism?
The mechanism is called reconciliation. And crucially, 2 Corinthians tells us God himself initiates it. He's actively reconciling a world to himself. And here's the key part. not reckoning to them their transgressions.
Not counting their sins against them.
Yeah. Right. The judge, the one who heard the case, chooses to wipe the slate clean, to expunge the charges, you could say. It completely transforms the relationship. It's like, well, it's radical.
Wow. Okay. So pulling this all together then, what's the big takeaway for someone listening? Because you've got this strict justice on one hand and then this overwhelming mercy on the other. They seem like opposites.
They do seem like opposites, but the insight from putting these verses together is that they aren't actually at odds. They're presented as two sides of the same coin, two essential parts of a single unified divine plan, like Pharaoh's dreams in Genesis being interpreted as one dream that God is revealing step by step.
Huh. So the structure itself, found across these different texts, shows this deep connection, this thematic integrity.
Precisely. It suggests a really profound coherence running through these ancient ideas.
It's definitely a fascinating way to look at ancient concepts of justice, accountability, and ultimately mercy. How a system could hold both. That strictness and that incredible capacity for grace together. It really gives you something complex and integrated to think about, doesn't it?